I feel like I need some less, like, nice music. Okay. Okay. So, prisoner is currently gagged, and his hands and feet are bound, but the door to the little cell has been opened.
Whisper smiles very sweetly at him and just says, "How's your leg doing?"
Mm.
Man, this is really intense, especially because they don't have like the only lawful member in the party around.
It's just all bad cops.
This guy's gonna get a pretty raw deal.
Yes, bad
I'll
cop,
give-
bad cop, bad cop, and bad cop.
Hey now,
Neutral
Ren is a chaotic good cop. I would like to stress this. She just
Bad
happens
cop,
to have a
bad cop.
firearm.
Cop.
Bad cop, and random cop.
I thought
Bad
it was
cop, bad cop, gun cop.
Bad
this
cop,
like-
bad cop, mad cop.
Bad cop. Oh, nice. Good one.
Dad
There's
cop?
no axe cop.
And we're all rad cop.
Oh.
Anyway,
Thanks, Tom Scott.
Ren's
Looking for steps.
not gonna say anything. She's just gonna basically sit kind of cross-legged, or if there's a stool available on that, and literally just rest the thunder cannon on her lap and have that one hand resting on the top of it, and keeping eye contact with him, slowly load it, and just let the others do the talking for now, because it's actually kind of hard to intimidate somebody with a Scouse accent when you're 3 foot tall.
All right.
I suppose Hauser will go and remove the gag.
The Ganyama stays fairly sort of still. Roll an insight check.
Who, all of us?
No, just Hauser, because he's the one who's the close.
Ah,
Nice.
Ooh.
good thing I don't have disadvantage.
He is he's trying to appear calmer than he actually is. He's sort of just sweating a little, and you can see from very close that sort of his pupils dilate a little, and he just sort of withdraws just a little bit as you're taking the gag off, but then sort of regains his composure, and then he sits there staring at all of you with a stony expression.
Stony expression.
Oh dear.
No need to be so nervous. There's no need for you to be dying today. Just tell us the truth.
Posers
Very
that good
well.
cop.
We're all surprised. It's kind of entertaining.
There's no need to be killing you yet.
Never mind.
So good to be around civilized people. What would you like to know? Oh, by the way, my name is Larak.
Oh,
we really don't care.
Oh, I retract my statement about civilized people.
Hauser has completely forgotten what they're trying to figure out from this guy, so he has no questions.
Oh my god.
He's just studying him really hard.
He's just here for the finger breaking.
Hey, it's a pretty good time.
So,
Does anyone remember what we're supposed to be asking him?
I suppose we want to know who you're working for.
Hmm. I serve a great power. Do you know of the power of the elements?
Hmm.
I serve the power of
She-
elemental earth.
When he says power of the elements, she kind of makes a very big look at like looking at her skin and going and like, me? No, not at all. Wow, wonderful. Please tell us more. Elemental earth.
Yes, I see you're touched by water. A powerful element. Not my personal choice, but...
Oh, everyone's
yes.
allowed to be wrong in certain ways.
Ah, yes, that would be the rashness of the water. Still, easier to deal with than air. Speaking of which, did you know that there is an elemental air cult just near this village? They
No.
paint themselves as fancy knights, hang around in a spire riding on griffins. Ridiculous folly.
Given
that
everything
sounds-
that goes on around here, that is entirely unsurprising.
That sounds very interesting, but that's definitely not what I asked. And if you don't start answering the questions we ask you, you're going to start losing fingers.
He just looks at you. Actually, roll an intimidate check.
Oh, please don't fail me now.
Come on.
Right, I've got to try and find it on here.
Man,
oh,
this is really
shit.
tense.
Right. In advance, I'm sorry if this fails.
All right, let's see it. Let's see some money. Oh.
Oh.
He chuckles.
Okay, can I break his finger?
And what would that be? His hands are currently completely bound up. You would have to unbind them.
As in, like, what, over his palms or something? Because if
Yeah,
you give
oh,
one
right,
a good wrench back.
Yeah, it's
I've never done this before. Honest.
If you give one a good wrench back. Hey, Hecate's dungeon in a different sense.
Interrogation dungeon.
all right.
My mind went somewhere else, but you know.
Oh.
You break one of his fingers. He howls in pain, and he's sweating and panting. But then he goes back to staring at you. Just
You know, you don't need eyes to be able to tell me the truth. So, has anyone got a spoon?
guys, I think this may be going a little bit too dark for this dungeon crawl. So can you dial it back a little
I
bit,
was gonna say,
please?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably a good idea.
Like, I've allowed you to have cannibalism, but that
Eye
like
gouging's a little over the line.
yeah.
Welcome to Frank Miller's dungeon crawl.
Yeah, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
All right.
Anyway.
So he says, I already told you who I serve. I serve the power of elemental earth.
Does
Okay.
the power of elemental earth have a name that you go by?
We are the cult of the Black Earth.
So the earth just speaks to you directly then?
In a sense.
I'm just trying to understand. Okay, explain it to me, please.
We are led by prophets. They speak words to us and guide us with the wisdom from great elemental beings. There are a number of such cults in the region. Sometimes we get along, sometimes we don't. And ours is led by a man named Malos. Malos Ernrail.
I would like to use ear for deceit and roll a wisdom check to see if he's lying.
All right.
Ooh, explain that function. Since I think this is a new feature, right?
Yes, she's using everyone leveled up to level 3, and she's using a feature from an official supplement found in Unearthed Arcana, which, funnily enough, was the Gothic Heroes supplement. So she is playing an inquisitive type rogue, and she has when she is using an insight check to see if someone's lying, if she looks at her roll and it's low and she's not happy with it, she can choose to take 13 instead as her value. So yeah, that's all right. That's a very good one. He's not lying. As far as you can tell, this is true.
He's telling the truth.
Yes.
We just have to be careful what answers he gives.
Kate, what was the last name that he said?
Marlos, so Marlos, Urnrayle, Urnrayle.
Cool.
Meanwhile, here's Gunnar's shopping list. just, there's no good time for this.
On one hand, in one part of town, torture. In another part of town, shopping.
Exactly.
So, yes, we are led by Marlos Urnrayle, a decent fellow, noble bearing. I mean, I've merely been guiding this town. Been take advantage a little maybe of the foolishness of the elders and their avarice and desire to take over the town and run it as if they're kings. But you really should think about that air cult I mentioned. I mean, yes, the earth cult is one thing, but we are sensible, stoic. We don't disturb the natural order too much. But those air cultists are flying around and making raids and showing off and painting themselves as heroes of justice.
And we can deal with them later, but no cult is a good cult.
You might change your mind about that.
You put a child under rocks. No, we won't.
I didn't. The townspeople did. In fact, it was the boy's father.
Still, you're implicated in all this, and child torture does not look particularly good on a cult that is, how did you put it, not bad.
Well, my life is forfeit anyway, so...
Well, we
Why?
never said we were going to kill you.
It was, not difficult to imply from your behavior thus far. You don't seem like particularly civilized types.
If we were to let you go, and that's not a promise, mind, what would you be doing with yourself?
I would probably go back to my master, into his service, although I suspect that if I did, he would likely kill me for my failure and for revealing secrets, so maybe it would be better to simply fall on my own sword. A quick death would perhaps be a mercy. Or maybe I would run to the air cult and take some revenge. Go out in a blaze of glory, so to speak.
What is it your master hopes to accomplish while you're spilling secrets and won't be going back?
I don't know. I'm not far enough in the hierarchy to know.
All that fancy armor and you're not high enough up in the hierarchy to know.
I am but a humble earth priest.
Can I do a religion check to see if I've heard anything about elemental cults before? anything like this?
Yeah, sure. Let me see. Okay, and we're making a roll and just reading the details here.
Eee.
Nice.
Okay, there have historically been sort of repeated mentions of elemental cults. Like they're one of these things that pops up from time to time in different places. So it is something you've vaguely heard of, and something vaguely comes to mind. Some idea of like what's called elemental evil, but you don't really understand what elemental evil is because elementals are normally neutral beings, and genasi and a lot of elemental beings, and the elemental planes themselves are aligned neutral. So you're not sure what this elemental evil could be or why there are elemental cults. But yeah, historically they pop up from time to time.
Where would we find your master?
Now, would he even tell you that? Hang on. Sorry, I'm just looking.
No, that's
You're not
fine.
You're not asking questions that the book expects that players would ask this character.
Then again, we did come at it sort of piecemeal, so...
Question.
Yeah,
We discovered him through a sinkhole, and we never got a hint in the town conspiracy, so...
alright, does he know where it is? He says, I can't tell you that.
Can't or won't?
Fine, I won't tell you that. My master lives in an ancient dwarven ruin deep under the valley. But you won't find it.
Oh, of course we won't. I'm sure it's very well hidden and is not on any map at all. That's never been found by anybody. I'm sure your secret lair with your master inside it is very secret and safe.
I love the dramatic irony. The one man with the map is off shopping.
Yeah, but I know you. Yes, but I know you have the map. So you spent a morning showing us all the map.
Yeah, I sure did. Still amazing.
In a very public setting.
Why, yes.
Look,
Doesn't happen to be a cult of water running around this town, does there?
Why, yes. There is actually an elemental spy in this town. He works for the cult of elemental water.
Now him, I might be able to work with.
So you're saying
Perhaps
there's
you
a
could-
spy? So there's
Sorry.
a spy from the cult of fire
No,
spying on
water.
Water.
There's a spy
Okay.
from the water cult.
Understood. Understood.
You're trying to intimidate me, and you didn't even notice there was an elemental spy right under your noses.
We've been
To be
busy.
quite frank, we weren't looking.
Haven't we only been here for like 2 days or 3 days or something
By
by this point?
4
Pretty much.
or 5 days, I think, at this point. But
We've been here 4 days and we've been very busy.
You got a name for this spy?
I believe he works in the the tavern. The cellarer.
Interesting.
Don't know his name. Slimy fellow. Spends most of his time down in the wine cellar. I believe he's been writing notes to the cult.
Oh, I see. He's a water spy amongst them. Nice.
There, anything else you would perchance happen to want to impart on us before we decide what we're going to do with you?
Are there any other questions you want to ask me?
Why this
Tell
town?
me. Oh, you first. I can wait.
At this point, Harbuck sort of just peeks in through the door to see whether you're done yet. And oh, you're still going? Oh, sorry to disturb. Just one of the constables just well, he's been a bit of a bad boy, and he tried to nick off with some of the stuff that was in this man's possession. I'm going to punish him appropriately. But here you go. These were found in this gentleman's possession, and he puts on the table some bars of what appears to be pure gold, like a trade bar with some kind of a stamp on it. And he goes, if I'm not mistaken, these are some kind of trade bars, but I don't recognise this stamp. Anyway, let you get on, and I'll see you in a bit. And he wanders back out, leaving the trade bars on the table.
Ren looks at Hauser and narrows her eyes. As if to say, wait.
Like training a dog. Leave.
Leave gold. Not gold for you yet.
So, what about these? Do you want to tell us about these?
Ah, yes. Trade bars.
What for?
Do you not recognise the stamp?
We might, but you could save us the trouble and tell us.
Ah,
Hauser, as
make
a
a roll.
seasoned sailor of trading ports, is gonna have a look at these.
all
A
right.
history check.
History check with advantage.
Excellent.
Because you are you have been involved in this personally.
Oh.
Aye, that's gold.
Uh,
It's money.
you're No, you've never seen this stamp before. It's vaguely familiar, like you might have seen it in passing somewhere, but it's you don't memorize trade stamps unless they're ones that you deal with on a daily basis. And in your case, Haza, this has never come up for you, which makes you guess that maybe it's a place that's not near the sea.
Oh, but he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't put this on a boat probably. So, actually, no, you may. Did you see this symbol before? No, you didn't. Wait, or did you? No, you didn't. Sorry. Okay, no, you've never seen this trade stamp before.
Mystery.
Sorry, there are so many like symbols to keep track
Yeah,
of.
there's a lot of those
Okay.
in this campaign.
This
What
one
was
is this one isn't like those symbols that you've been seeing. It is literally like a crest of some kind. Let me just look up online if I can find.
Intense Googling action. Kate hacks into the system.
Yeah, hacking mainframes. God damn it. Okay, so I'll just make something up, I guess, for this, because the city in question does not have like an established, or the place in question doesn't have an established crest. So it appears to be a stamp that shows like an axe, like a fancy-looking war axe, and 2 crossed pickaxes.
Making a mental note to show these to Gunnar because that looks dwarfy and miney.
It's dwarfy and whiny. I love that. That's a good justification. I will never get tired of the fact that, well, I guess, like, on the other hand, he is buying, apparently, just, like, a bunch of siege tools.
Yes.
A crowbar, a ram, a sledgehammer, some ball bearings, and some mason's tools. So he could take down probably a castle wall at this point.
Yes, so meanwhile, while you guys are having this tense negotiation, like, he's in this shop with, like, Old Man Valabo, who's like, oh, what are you going to do, storm a castle?
Aye, well, you never know when you need these sorts of things, especially if you're busted into underground ruins. And we've had a little bit of an incident with cages and such, so a little crowbar action will help with that, right?
Aye, I'm happy to have it taken off my hands.
I should mention, this is like 60 pounds of stuff, too. He's just like,
Oh my god.
he's carting around.
Are you going to need to buy a wheelbarrow as well? Because I've got one of those.
Your party member's got a bag of holding, it'll be fine.
I don't think a bag of holding can hold like 10 pounds of sledgehammer, though, or 35
Yes,
pounds
it
of
can.
ram. Can it actually?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, though the weight on a bag of holding can hold up to 500 pounds.
Oh, right. I thought there was like a weight limit of like 50 pounds for some reason. Alright, well, in that case, nah, we've got someone who can handle that.
Slightly concerned that that bag of ball bearings is going to get catapulted one at a time.
No, I actually looked it up. I can't catapult those ball bearings. I can catapult the whole bag of ball bearings at once, though.
Weird.
Oh my god.
It's because they weigh less than a pound.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay.
Alright, sorry, anyway.
Gunner
I'm
shopping
gonna-
aside.
I'm gonna look at this Lakar fella and
Lorak.
sorry,
A very
My
appropriate
brain.
slip of the memory.
yeah. Let me just put those letters in the right order because I had all of the letters. Tell me, in your Earth cult, have you ever come across an Earth Genasi name of Mirage Vizan?
Yes, I'm familiar with him.
Is he active in your cult at present?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. And
Do you
Ren
know
takes
him?
one of the bars of gold and walks out
Just fucking
to go find Gunnar.
That's amazing. Well, you'll see him walking up the street holding a lot of stuff. A lot of heavy things.
Cool.
Seems a shame to waste you on land. I don't suppose you have any interest in piracy.
I can't say water is my first choice, but if you're offering me my life and a life of adventure on a pirate ship, I might be amenable.
Yeah, lackey.
Ah. There's a way to pick you up from prison once I've saved up enough for my own boat. Perhaps. I could use hands. But I'm not very choosy about whose hands they are.
Well, I may consider it.
Cool.
Okay. Well,
Hauser is
Although-
done here.
If you could perhaps fix my hand, it may be of more use to you in the future.
Yeah, we should probably unbreak that finger.
just bend it back into place. That's how it works, right?
Just tape it to the others, it'll be fine.
Actually, considering what happened, it probably is just dislocated.